Good day, everyone. This is Jason Santos, and for today, I'm going to discuss strategic marketing management. We are already on topic number 4, so let's get started. In this lesson, we will be covering the following: the marketing battle, marketing strategy, and the key aspects of strategic analysis. So, as I always start my discussions, let's have a quote from Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War. According to him, all men can see these tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which the victory is evolved. So, this is very much true. We sometimes see the tactics, but we do not see the underlying strategy in which the victory was achieved. Okay, and this has something to do with what we will be discussing for today. So we are covering marketing strategy in this topic, and there's a saying that an offerings strategy articulates the logic of the value creation process. So later on, we will understand that the term value is very much important when a businessman or a team is crafting a certain strategy. Okay, you can do without value if you are considering creating a strategy. Okay, accordingly, the key aspect for strategic analysis are: one, identifying the target customers; two, creating customer value; three, creating company value; and four, creating collaborator value. Now we will check and understand each one of them in detail in the next slides. So number one is to identify target customers. When we say identifying target customers, let's be perfectly clear that this does not pertain to target market. Those are two different things, okay? Target customers is someone that will give you the information of the same age, the same income level, same hobbies, same information source. This is a stepping stone for the development of marketing strategy. Identifying the target market or target customer, involves grouping customers into segments, selecting which segments to target, and identifying actionable strategies to reach the selected target segments. Again, when you talk of target customers, these are individuals of the same categories, right? Because when you talk of markets, there's a specific range or demographic, and there are variations. Whereas with target customers, they are very much identical on the said categories. Next, we go to creating customer value. Now, when you say value, oftentimes than not, people generalize them as to one type of value, wherein value is a very huge, large term. Okay, and you would have to be very specific as to which value you are pertaining to. Now, the first value belongs to the customers and can be divided into two parts, such as total customer benefit and total customer cost. Now, the benefits and the costs are some of the things that the customers are very keen to, like what benefit am I getting if I get this product or this service? What image do I portray or show if I buy your product? And that's the reason why some people buy expensive products, even though they can still get the same benefit for a cheaper one. It's because they wanted to have the benefit of showing the image that they can pay for it. You know, when you talk of cost, you have monetary cost, psychic cost, energy cost, time cost. So um, sometimes time and money and energy are interchanged, right? most of the time people would say that they want to save money. They want the cheapest alternative. Okay, like for example, I want to ship a product. I want the cheapest courier. However, if that would also mean that I'm going to line up for hours and hours before I can have my package shipped out, then I might consider choosing a more costly option to ship because it would save me time. Like I could, let's say you have LBC, and admittedly there are longer queues in LBC as compared to getting a or booking a Grab delivery or Lalamove delivery. So those things, and one thing is certain for value, it's not it you cannot generalize it. You cannot say that what's valuable for me is also valuable for you. That's not the case. It varies from one person to another. All right. So these things must be considered when we are talking of customer value. These days, brands must try ever harder to create and communicate value in everything we do. Customers have an overwhelming abundance of choice, and that's true. We may think that customers don't have a choice, but the reality is they do. And there are a lot of choice. Like, for example, I want to eat sangyupsal. Back then, I would have to go to a mall, and spend a lot of money. But now there are sangyupsals everywhere, and it's much more cheaper. And the same goes with milk tea. Back then, you would have to go to a mall, pay for a higher price in order to get a milk tea. But now you can go to to the next street and buy a milk tea. You can even buy milk tea powders at the grocery store and prepare it for yourself. So the choice is very abundant and expectation is high. Customers have little loyalty to spare if you fail to meet their expectations. So that's the reality of the market nowadays, and that's what businesses must remember. When creating a strategy in giving value for the customer. So I have asked this question to my students. Which one do you think is correct? As the cost rises, the perceived value drops, or as the cost rises, the perceived value rises as well? So often, most of the time, people would say that this is the correct one. It's as if when the cost is high, you will automatically get a valuable product or valuable service. But the reality is that there's a very important point that value does not refer to price. Let me repeat that. Value does not refer or equate to price. It refers to the perceived benefits to be gained in context of price. Cost is only a part of the equation. So there are even cases wherein you have paid a high price but you did not get the benefit you wanted. Okay? So that already beats the argument that when the price is high, the item is more valuable. Let's say there are two identical products with identical exposure. They can only compete on cost. Two differentiated products do not have to compete on costs. Yes, that's true. When a product is different from the other, it's not going to compete on cost because people will pay it no matter what the price. Products are not just differentiated by their features. They can also be differentiated because of their brand. Let's say Toyota brings out a car and you may presume its reliability because of its key brand. If another car maker releases a near identical car, or let's say that is a copy of Toyota in every shape and form, as reliable as a Toyota, that car maker will struggle to compete because they do not have the same customer perception. the customers have already built this perception towards Toyota that when you say it's Toyota, the brand is Toyota, the automotive or the car is reliable. So I hope that explains our analogy when it comes to the relationship between value and price. Although this what we have been accustomed to is not wrong, and people have reason as to why they believe value is equals to price. What I'm trying to say here is that businesses should find a way to offer value regardless of the price, whether they are the cheapest one or they are the most priciest one. Okay, and that also goes on to targeting the right customers. Here are some of the drivers of values like product function, product differentiation, quality service, marketing, branding, price, relationships or experience, and then personal bias and upbringing. All are factors towards driving value. Number 3 is all about company value. Okay, so sometimes, to put it simply, customers neglect value towards their company or people in the company. They're too much focused with customers. While that is correct that you focus on your customers, you must not neglect your employees. Like for example, their employment income, their safety. You know, you're overworking your people or your employees. You're not giving them the right overtime pay. You're not giving them the right remuneration for their work. So investors take financial returns, suppliers and vendors, communities and governments. So all of these things contribute to company value, okay, and must be taken into consideration when creating one. Now, we know that it is important to give value to our stakeholders, but we must know or understand that we can map out as to what type of value, how much level of value should we give, to our stakeholders. Should we just keep them satisfied? Should we manage them closely? Should we monitor them or keep them informed? In order for us to know that, we would have to put them in this quadrant: low influence to high influence and low interest to high interest. Let's say your stakeholder has high influence and has high interest in your business. Then that stakeholder must be managed closely. Okay? An example of that would be, let's say, your investor. Your investors are examples of stakeholders that are very important because, for one, they're lending you the resources and the money to operate, So you must always report to them, give them feedback, give them updates, satisfy their requests, their needs. Okay? So that's how you map out the level of value you would offer for your stakeholders. And then number 4, we have the collaborator value. So creating collaborator value involves identifying entities that will work with the company to create market value for target customers. So it's up to you to know who are your collaborators. Are they your vendors, your suppliers, your agency, the warehousers, the consultants? One good example of two companies working together, collaborating together perfectly, are Apple and Nike. They have worked together extensively over the past 20 years on what has become Nike Plus, despite making different products in different industries. So as you can see, you have the Midnight Fog Nike Air Vapor Max shoes, which fits perfectly with an Apple Watch and earpods from Apple. So this Apple Watch monitors your heartbeat, monitors your running distance, the calories you have burned, gives you music. This is a perfect package for health buffs or athletes, and this is a proof that two companies who can work together, or who can do better on their own, or do something on their own, be successful on their own, can be better if they would collaborate. They have produced something that is very much valuable. And the reason that it is valuable, or proof that it's valuable, is because despite of the steep price, people are willing to pay for it, and people are willing to buy for newer versions of these packages. So see, that's an example of good collaboration and bringing out value through collaborating. So that wraps up this discussion, and I'm giving this assignment for my students who weren't present in the synchronous session. For those who were present, I have given them instructions on how they would answer this. And as always, thank you so much for supporting my videos, supporting my channel. If you have feedback, comments, suggestions, or concerns, please don't forget to put them down below in the comments area. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something for this lesson, and to God be all the glory. Till our next video.